Hey everybody. I was just really led to get on here and say a word. I really just want to say that the best relationship that you could ever cultivate and nurture is a relationship with God. It's the safest relationship. It's a lot of people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis that have questions about God that goes unanswered, and they have a heart for God, but they never really know how to approach a relationship with Him. And when I have those conversations, and I'm a very transparent person, I'm very transparent about things that I've been through, things that I've encountered. I can only speak to my experiences and how God has delivered me. But I came from what I would say a life of rejection. I grew up in church. I know all the churchy stuff. I know all the lingo, the experiences. I know all of it. I'm aware of all of it. But one thing I never really learned growing up was what it meant to have a relationship with God. God was my first love. I remember a time where I would sit in the den and I was sitting on crates and I would honestly I'd just be playing like I'm in heaven, condemning my teddy bears to heaven or hell. That was my playtime. I had a heart for God, even at a young age. I saw things different, but I never really could recognize why everywhere I went, I never fit in, no matter how hard I try. Anyone that I was around, I never fit in. I've always felt like an outcast. I've been rejected in every area of my life: family, friends, church, everything. I've tried to find myself in so many different ways. There's there was a void in my heart, a God-sized void in my heart that only He could feel. And it's like sitting here and looking back. Sometimes you wish you would have made different choices, but you also recognize that if you wouldn't have went through what you went through, I don't think I would have such a deep love and reverence for God the way that I do. And also actively teaching other people how to develop a deep love and reverence for God. God has helped me to forgive unforgivable things. The void that I had in my heart, I couldn't fill it with sex, drinking. Nothing would nothing would fill it. Even at that time, I would always ask, well, I would always say, I got to get back to my first love. Usually when people ask me about my past and what I've been through, I always try to skip past my 20s. It was just horrible. That's all I can say. And God got me through it. I've attempted suicide twice in my life. Once in high school and once after high school. For years, people always ask me why I never smile, why you don't smile. I had nothing to smile about. It happened so many times that honestly, for me, that was the expectation. Rejection was the expectation for me. But God really came and changed all that. Even when I tried to go to church, not really fitting in there as a teenager, even now, I ask a lot of questions. I'm a questions person. And when you're a kid asking a lot of questions, most adults want you to just be quiet. But I remember a time where I asked God, it has to be more to life than what I'm doing. There has to be more. I remember my mom was having a Bible study, and it was like 6 of us. But it was just something that's really heavy on my heart, like it's time. And I asked God a question, said, would you accept me? Out of all the things that I've did, out of all the wrongs that I've done, would you really accept me? And the first time I ever heard God speak to me, his first words to me was, do I want a relationship with him? And I said, yes. And he said, I love you. Are you willing to unlearn everything it is you thought you knew about me? For a lot of people, God has been presented in a way that's condemning, judgmental. But I'm here to tell you that God is so loving and caring and nurturing. And in his arms is the only place I've ever felt safe. I've had bad relationships. I've had life issues. I've had childhood traumas. And God has delivered me from them all. And he's still working on me. And one of those ways is just being vulnerable and open to people again, not being isolated. I'm not going to tell you that a relationship with God is easy. It may be difficult for you because you have to let go of some things. But being in relationship with him is so easy. You got to get over you. I think once I got over myself and I actually surrendered, I didn't feel abandoned anymore. I didn't feel like I didn't belong. But he's longing for so many people, and he's chasing after so many people. And you may not know how to approach him. I came to God broken, shattered into pieces. Ten years ago, I thought I was unfixable. And year after year, I have experienced God put me back together the way that He created me, and not in the way or in the identity that I created for myself. It wasn't a perfect walk, but it was a forward walk. I've made many mistakes, but He's always said, get back up, let's do it again. I've had to learn hard lessons. I've had to face a lot of fears, a lot of anxieties. And some people that was a part of that process know the fears that I've had to face. I've lost friends. I've lost relationships. But what I've gained was so much more. The peace that I have in my heart of knowing that regardless of what the world say, I am loved in a way that I need to be loved. A relationship with God is not about church attendance. It's not about how much of the Bible you know. A relationship with God is how much you can open your heart to Him and let Him change you. You don't have to change yourself. The closer you get to God, the more you want to change because you recognize exactly who He is. And when you realize that His way is 100 times better than any other way you thought, because there's going to come a time where the church isn't going to be available. There's going to be a time where someone's not going to be there to pray for you or pull you through it or talk you through it. It's going to be you and it's going to be God. My prayer is that you develop the most intimate relationship with God. Not hindered by your experiences or your traumas. He's way bigger than that. I pray that you get to experience God and be a witness to how good He is to the people in your family. You don't have to be in agreement with your trauma, with your past, or with anything it is that you did. That's all I have to say.